I would like to introduce you all to the NID 6-day workshop for bachelor's and master's in design. Doesn't matter which domain you are applying to, this workshop will cater to the most of them. This is designed in such a way that we cover most of the topics, the important ones for sure, even domain specific content, in a matter of 6 days. Now on day 1, you'll have lectures on human figures, perspective, composition, birds and animals, and scale and proportion. On day 2, you'll have visualization, how to see, and logo design. On day 3, you'll have storyboarding, facial expressions, design principles and elements of design. And day 4 will give you creativity, story writing, color theory, poster design, and stamp design. Now day 5 would be a little different for bachelor's and master's. So the students who are appearing for bachelor's in design, they'll have exercises with reference sketches. Now for master's students, we have a live session on day 5 in which we will talk about product design, smart products, we'll talk about user analysis, we'll talk about problem identification, market and brand understanding. Now day 6 is going to be a live session in which we will also have time for all the doubts that you might have, which you'd be dropping in to us during the 6 days of the workshop, and we will clear it on the 6th day. And along with that, we will talk about infographics, we'll talk about pictographs, icons, interpreting an image, feelings and emotions. So this is how this whole workshop is going to be like. Now, important things to note here are that every topic that we talk about will have an assignment along with it. Now you will have to solve those assignments, and you will definitely gain a lot out of this workshop if you follow this schedule religiously. Now we have limited seats, so I would request you all, whoever wants to join in for this workshop in the batch, guys, do not hesitate, do not wait for your buddy to sign in. Do sign in, because last time we had to close down the batches because we, like I said, have limited seats. Let's say somebody is, a student is appearing for NID. We'll talk about seed after this. Let's talk about NID now. So if somebody is, appearing for NID this year, what would be your suggestion? Because there's only the forms are not yet out. Okay, the application forms for NID. But pretty much, let's consider that they have 2 months left, 2.5 months left. So what do you suggest to the students?
Yes, so I would like to tell everyone out there who is preparing for NID or seed. So many people think that they should have a very exquisite detailing skills or exquisite sketching skills to be one of those designers who land up doing at IDC or NID or any other IIT institutions who conduct these design courses. I clearly say that is not very required. If you should have a conceptualization skill, that is much required. You cannot master conceptualization even when you do that for a very long time. How to come up with new concept is try to observe things, try to learn about detailing of things. And so the most important thing that I have experienced in giving an ID exam, all they want is your observation skills. That is must, and a little awareness about the design domain. That how much you know about design. That is sufficient. Talking about conceptualization, like NID exams have 2 sections. One is the MCQ type of questions, which you have to take, and then second part consists of the subjective questions in which you have to draw or write something. So first part is anyhow you will easily do that if you have good observation skills and a little of design awareness. You will easily do that. That doesn't require much of emphasis. But the second part is something which is the deciding factor for the entrances. Like we think about those extreme of society for which they are solving the problem for. Suppose if you're creating a solution for any given problem statement, consider the extreme of the society. Consider the extremes. I mean to say that consider the solution being applied to children, and consider the same solution being applied to the older age groups. If if those and if those are the two places where solution works, then your your overall solution is good. Whenever you are answering those questions or you are solving those questions, always think like if you as if you are designing for a 5-year-old kid.
Okay.
That should be very obvious. Like I always say that design should be obvious. People don't want to think that how well do you have conducted research. People are not very concerned about how what research you have done. People, and they just want to use your product, and that should be done without hassle. They should be able to use your product or use your solution without any hassle which you are designing or creating. So that is something that is one of the major points which should be considered while solving all of those problems which are there in NID entrances.